Hey, it's me, GV, and welcome to this week's edition of Sub Saturdays. So let's start off with some channel stuff. Just so everyone knows, just so we're all on the same page, I want to go over again that this channel is on a hiatus until Fallout 4 releases on November 10th. I will be continuing to upload Sub Saturdays every Saturday until that happens, and that's a little over 2 weeks, so there should be 2 more Sub Saturdays until we get started. And also there will be a new unboxed video tomorrow. Now, for anyone that can't wait that long for some GV content, over on Vanasaur, I am continuing to upload episodes of Dark Souls throughout the week, Monday through Friday, so go ahead and check that out if you want to. I also just wanted to say that I am very appreciative of how patient you guys have been, and trust me, once Fallout 4 releases, this channel is going to go from 0 to 60 in the snap of a finger. Alright, so let's talk about some personal stuff. So for those of you guys that don't know, for the last 5 days I've actually been in Arizona, and I'm going to be putting up all of the pictures that I took, and I think there's even a video so you guys can look at those, and I'm just going to basically go over what I did in these past 5 days. So I flew from Denver to Phoenix, and then upon arriving we drove out to Sedona, which is a beautiful, gorgeous place with a ton of like red rock mountains. I don't even know what you call them, but you'll see pictures of them. And by the time that we got to Sedona, it was pretty late, so we ate at a diner and then went to bed. The next day we fully explored Sedona, and you know, there's like an uptown area with a bunch of unique shops and stuff. Then there's also a point that you can go to watch the sunset. But yeah, Sedona is amazing, and I was not expecting that at all. I highly suggest you guys visit there if you can. So the day after that, we drove about 2 hours to get to the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon's like 4 hours away from Phoenix, 2 hours away from Sedona, and yeah, by the time that we got there, it was pretty early in the day, but it was incredibly cold, very windy, and it was also raining, so that's not a good combination. So we stayed there for about an hour, and then we left. So the day after that, it was much more sunny, and we were actually able to fully experience the Grand Canyon. And guys, let me just tell you, it's one of those things that, you know, you think you're going to know what it's going to be like when you get there, or at least have some idea, and it just baffles you. You have to see it with your own eyes. The pictures are not going to do it justice. It's just, you know, it's one of the 7 natural wonders of the world, and for a good reason. Just for anybody that doesn't really have that on your bucket list, I suggest you put it on it, because seeing the Grand Canyon with your own 2 eyes is just amazing, and hopefully the pictures will do a little bit of justice. But yeah, it was just absolutely gorgeous. There was a trail leading down into the canyon that takes 3 hours to go down to the bottom and 3 hours to get back. We went on that for about an hour. There was just a lot of time constraints, but I would like to go down there and come back at some point in my life. And then we also explored the rim. But yeah, it's just absolutely amazing. It just stretches as far as the eye can see, and I definitely suggest going there if you can as well. The next day we drove back to Phoenix and we saw The Martian. Excellent movie. I really liked it, and I'm not even that much into like scientific movies like that, let alone sci-fi, but yeah, it was amazing and really well done. And I actually arrived from the Denver International Airport about 2 hours ago, and I'm trying to get this out there so that it can be up there tomorrow morning. So this episode, I also wanted to talk about the episode of Sub Saturdays where I said I was going to go to the gym 3 times a week. I stopped going, and it's not because I don't keep my word, or it's not because I didn't have the willpower or anything like that. Usually when I say I'm going to do something, I usually try my absolute hardest to do it. The reason I stopped going is because I realized as I was working out that I feel much more comfortable being on the diet. It had nothing to do with working out or going to the gym. It was mainly just because when I eat normally, something feels off. You know, I've been on the diet, and I don't like calling it a diet. It's not really a diet because I've lost the weight that I wanted to lose, but when I'm off of it, it just doesn't feel right. It feels like something's amiss in the universe. So basically the point of this is that I'm going to go back on that meal plan, whatever you want to call it. Basically it was a lifestyle change after I lost the weight, and so instead of seeing me bulk up over the next few weeks, you guys are probably going to see me slim back down, because the food plan that I'm on really promotes weight loss like incredibly quick. I'm also going to do a Sub Saturdays eventually where I'll go over every single little aspect of that diet, so that anyone that wants to lose weight can. I mean, it's as easy as if you follow exactly what I say, you will lose weight and you will lose it fast. So I know that will help some people. So that brings this rather long Sub Saturdays to a close with the question of the week, which is by Irish Playa, who asks, how did you first get into gaming? And I sort of just browsed over this question at first because this is one of those questions that you get quite a lot in the sort of line of work that I do. But I thought about it, and it's actually kind of interesting, so I thought I'd go over it. So growing up, my mom was a single mother, and a lot of the time was spent at my grandma and grandpa's house because she was at work all the time, helping to support me and my sister. And for whatever reason, my grandpa had an NES or Nintendo Entertainment System. He wasn't into video games or anything like that. In fact, the extent was pretty much he had a Game Boy and he played a lot of Tetris, but that was really it. So I don't really know why he had that, but he did. And so a lot of my childhood was playing that NES and whatever game I could get my hands on. Now you have to understand, back in those days, games were a lot different. You'd get a game, and as a kid, I mean, I would just look at the cartridge. If it looked cool, I would pop it in and be like, yeah, and I could get into pretty much anything. I didn't really have a concept of a bad or a good game. Also, you know, it was totally different. Games were like pretty much impossible to beat, especially as a little kid, and also there were no saves for the most part, so every time you turned it back on, you had to start from scratch pretty much. There were passwords and stuff like that, but didn't really work out all the time. So my grandpa really liked going to the local flea market, and I guess there was a video game salesman or something like that, so every now and then he would come back with a new game. I'd look at the front of the cartridge, I'd go, wow, that looks awesome, put it in, and get engrossed into that world for however long until he bought me another one. So that was pretty much the start of it. That just evolved from there, and obviously now I've made it pretty much my job, which is kind of cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this week's Sub Saturdays, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have enjoyed it. Next week I will make another one, of course, and tomorrow there will be a new episode of Unbox, so look forward to that, and I will see you guys there. Thanks for watching again. Bye bye.